Okay. Oh. All right, let's start off with our usual little yoga float to get moving. So soft knees, drop your chin to your chest, roll down nice and slowly. And we'll hang at the bottom here for a little bit. Make sure your arms are completely released. Give your head a little nod and shake. And go into a little bit of a side to side sway. Nice deep breaths. Pop your hands to the floor and walk forwards into a plank position. Lift your hips up into downward dog. Drive your chest down towards your toes and give your legs a pedal out. So dropping one heel to the floor at a time. Oh, Achilles, that is the worst spot to go. Roll back into your plank. Put your knees to the floor. And we'll go into cat-cow. So start by taking a big inhale. As you exhale, pull your belly button into your spine. Press the shoulder blades apart and tuck your pelvis. Inhale, drop your belly button to the floor. Exhale, scoot back up. Continue like this for about 30 seconds. Really breathe nice and deeply into your belly. Once more. Find your neutral spine position and we'll go into some lateral flexion. So pressing your ribs out to the left and looking over your right shoulder towards your right hip. Back to neutral and then to the other side. So opening through the ribs but keeping hips and shoulders nice and still. Once more to each side. Come back to that neutral spine position and we'll go into some thoracic rotation. So we'll start by taking our left hand and placing the back of it to the floor. We're going to reach underneath our right armpit and drop our left shoulder down to the ground. Take a big breath in at the bottom here. On the next inhale, come back to center. And exhale and continue that arm reaching up to the roof. Inhale to center. Exhale, reach that arm under the right armpit. Inhale to center. Exhale, reach the arm up. Do a couple more. Inhale to center. Exhale, reach the arm through. Inhale to center. Exhale up. Inhale to center. Exhale through. And inhale back to the center. Exhale, we'll move on to the other side. So right arm reaching through on that exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, reach the right arm up to the roof. Inhale down. Exhale through. Inhale center. Exhale up. Inhale center. Exhale through. And last one, inhale back to the center. All right. We're going to move on to some back stretching. Most of it we'll do on our back or lying on the floor. Have your band next to you to use just to make that a little bit easier. But we're just going to start off by rolling a little bit. So start sitting upright and hug your knees into your chest. And then we're just going to roll up and down our spine. You don't have to come back into a seated position. We'll just do a couple of little rolls in the ball here. Pull your chin gently towards your chest and concentrate on rounding out through your back. Do 2 more. Okay, we're going to start off with our right leg being the one moving and our left leg staying extended. So grab your band, loop it around the base of your right foot, the sole of your right foot, lie onto your back and just have that right leg at a rough 90-degree angle above you. And we're going to slowly lower down to the left-hand side. We're going to extend our right arm away from us and look towards that right arm. Try and get your right knee to the floor. We're going to stay here and breathe into the twist a little bit. One more deep breath. Gently roll back to lying on your back. Kick that right leg up straight, so now the sole of your right foot is facing the ceiling. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, go back into that twist, keeping our right leg straight this time. Once you're down to the floor, start nice deep breathing into your belly. One more deep breath. And gently rolling back onto your back. You can unhook the band from your foot and come into a seated position. Have your left leg extended still. Step that right foot over and hug the knee up and into your chest so your foot's off the ground. I'm going to hug the knee upwards, getting a little bit more of a stretch down through our glute, keeping our shoulders and hips square. Pop that right foot back on the floor and we'll go into a twist now. So either having your hand pointing down to the floor or up to the ceiling. Place your right hand on the floor behind you and turning towards the right. Make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Turn back to center. We're going to cross our legs now. Place your left hand on that right knee and then back into that twist for me. One more deep breath. Turn back to the center. Now we're going to repeat all of that, but with our left leg. So grab your band again. We'll just repeat our couple of rolls in that ball to start off with. So we're hugging the knees in towards the chest. One more. All right. Loop the band around your left foot. Lie down on your back. Bend that left knee in towards your chest. Oops. And then extend your left hand to the side and drop that left knee down and across. Taking some nice deep breaths, trying to get our left knee to the floor. Gently roll back to center. Extend that left leg straight up into the air. Take a big breath in. As we exhale, drop that leg back to the side. You want to try and keep that left foot roughly at hip height. One more big breath. Gently rolling back up to center. Unhook that band and come back into a seated position. Right leg straight out in front, left foot being hugged, up and into the chest, left foot's just off the ground. We want to try and keep our shoulders and hips square so we get more of a stretch down through the glute. Place that left foot to the floor and then we'll go into that twist. So left hand is back behind us. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, shoulders are down away from your ears. Gently turn back to the center. We'll cross our legs and return to that twist. Left hand back behind, right hand on our knee, and rotating. Gently come back up out of that. All right, we're going to go into some more sort of hip, glute, hamstring release. So we'll start on our left leg. So we'll have left leg forward. I'm going to start by going into a pigeon pose. So that left heel is tucked in slightly towards the hips. Right leg stretched out straight back behind us. We're going to drop down onto forearms and just relax through our back. Eyes looking down at the floor. You can put your head on the floor if you prefer. And to make sure that you're stretching most efficiently, just check that you haven't rocked off to the left hand side. You want to make sure your hips are pointing forwards and that you aren't sitting down onto your left bum cheek. Really stretch that right leg back. Place your hands to the floor and lift your chest up. A little bit of tension through your core here. Either stay in this position, or if you want to and are able to, pick that back foot up, grab it with your right hand and pull it in towards your bum for a little bit more of a stretch through that right quad. Gently release that back foot. Roll off onto that left hip. And I'm going to get you to roll right onto your back and hug that left leg into the chest. So hugging it right in nice and tight. Still trying to open up through that left hamstring a little bit. Squeeze it in close to your chest and make sure your neck and shoulders are relaxed. Gently release that leg. Come into a seated position. And we're going to go into 90-90 before we repeat on our other side. Sitting back onto the hands and then rotating the legs. Nice and slowly. Trying to keep both bum cheeks to the floor as much as you can. If you're really tight, that will be hard, if not impossible. So just move through what's comfortable for you. And last one before we swap to the other side. Let me think about this. Pop your left foot across that right knee. Go into that seated figure 4 pose. Flex your left foot. Sit up really tall and drive your left knee towards the floor. Slowly tilt so that your left foot edges towards the ground, but we want to keep our hips and shoulders facing forwards here. Gently lift back up. And take that foot off and we'll swap to the other side now. So pigeon pose with our right leg forward. Starting down on the forearms like we did on the left side. Eyes looking down towards the floor. You can pop your head on the ground if you prefer. I'm just making sure that this time we aren't rolling off to our right hip. But keeping our hips square facing forwards. Place your hands to the floor and lift your chest upwards for me. Shoulders down and relaxed. And then if you want to deepen the stretch, you can pick up that back foot and hold on to it with your left hand. Otherwise, just stay with both hands on the ground. Let that back foot go. And now we'll rock over onto the right hip just to come out of that gently and flip right over onto your back. Hugging the right knee into the chest now. Nice and tight in. You can pull it a little wider into your armpit if you're a bit more flexible, just to get that stretch. Release your knee. Come into a seated position for me. We'll do some 1990s. Again, and then back into our figure four to finish off this sequence. We're sitting up a little taller now. And just notice if you've got a little bit more of a range of movement now that we've done both legs. Released. Try not to let your feet lose contact with the floor. Go once more to each side. And then planting that left foot on the ground and putting your right ankle across the left knee, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Flex your right foot and drive your right knee down towards the floor. Gently lower down so your right foot's heading towards the ground. Make sure you keep that pressure on the right knee, keep it pointing down towards the floor as much as possible. Lift back up. And just give the legs a little bit of a rub, a little bit of a shake out. Right, do a little bit of chest stretching to finish off and some shoulders. So we'll start off with our scorpions. Lying on your tummy. Hands either side of your chest. Picking one leg up and tapping the floor back behind you. Rolling back to center, then onto the opposite side. Make sure your hands are far enough away from your shoulders to get into a stretch. And make sure they're not too high up in front of you on the floor. Keep rocking side to side. And go one more to each side. Come back to center. Keep your hands planted next to your chest and lift up into an upward dog. Nice deep breaths into your belly. Push back into a child's pose. And lift up out of that and just come to a seated position on the floor, whatever position is most comfortable. And we'll just do a couple of little shoulder stretches. So across the body with the right arm reaching across, left arm's holding onto the forearm. Keep that right shoulder down away from your ear. Really stretch the arm out as far as you can. Take that same arm behind the head now to a tricep stretch. Spread your fingers out and reach down between your shoulder blades. And make sure you're not pulling on your neck, forcing your chin down. You want a nice neutral position through your spine. Reach that right arm up, hold on to the wrist with your left hand, and then tilt off to the side. Rock back to center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So cross body, stretch the arm away. Same arm down behind the head, reaching the fingertips down between the shoulder blades, eyes forward. And then reach that left arm up overhead, hold onto the wrist with your right hand, and lean off to the side. Gently rock back to center. All right, done. Hope you're feeling a little bit more loosey-goosey after that. And that is our stretch session.